wait for it. Oh, okay. Well, it's not gonna do the cool sound yet. There it goes. Yeah. Alright. I'm back. Feeling a lot better than I was yesterday. As I said, I had a doctor's appointment yesterday. Whenever I have to do anything like that, my brain is completely drained of its thought juices. And so I was a rambling idiot. More of a rambling idiot than I normally am. And I'm just sitting here watching the pee-pee-poo-poo fly across the top of the screen majestically. Like a beautiful albatross. So. Sorry, I had to scratch my nose. And it looked like I was having a seizure. I actually... Well, I'm not going to say that I know how to prove n plus k equals k plus n. Meaning 2 plus 3 is the same as 3 plus 2. But I have, I think, a better understanding of how to explain this. And so we're going to do that. After that, we're going to play a game. Do you want to play a game? Gee, could it be the person that, like, whispered in my ear, hey, you should probably put in your title a free math tutor? Thank you, by the way. Well, hello, Hunted. How are you? Okay. For the game section of the stream, maybe we should go post on Reddit now, see if I can get you some... I mean... Sure? If you want to do that, go for it. But yeah. For the game section of the... Game! I'm in my 30s, and yet I'm still going through puberty. Isn't that fun? For the game section of this stream, it's not going to be Silent Hill 1. So, we got the UFO ending yesterday. It gives you a ray gun called the Hyper Blaster. So it has unlimited ammo, and it auto-aims. But it's only as strong as the pistol? To upgrade the gun to be as strong as the shotgun, you have to get, like, an 8-star rating in the game. And the highest rating you can get is 10. And then to get your ray gun to be as strong as the rifle, you have to get a perfect score in the game, meaning you have to beat the game in an hour and 30 minutes. You have to get 150 out of the 204 items. You have to get 5 out of the 6 special items that you get from New Game Pluses. You have to get the Good Plus ending, which means you have to do the Kaufman side quest. You have to... Geez, what else do you gotta do? You have to kill 75 enemies with, like, a melee finisher. So, like, if you shoot something and it falls down, you have to run over and kick it. Which I usually do just to conserve ammo. But you also have to get, like, 120 kills with long-range guns. You cannot use any New Game Plus weapons. So no chainsaw, no rock drill, no katana, which really sucks because the katana makes the game so much easier. And you absolutely know actually using the Hyper Blaster. So I'm looking at the top Reddit list. This one is top 9. No stupid. You know what? I think I've heard of that. I think I've heard of that subreddit. Yeah. Yeah. That probably would. I guess I just have to be ready to ban people that come in with actual stupid questions. Yeah. I think no stupid questions, that sounds like a good place to post it. If you see other people that are advertising that, I mean, if you want it, sure. Like, if you really... You know what? I'm just gonna do it. Like, people with mod power, you guys are not obligated to do anything. But, like, if you actually want to do something, then go for it. I think I successfully modded you, but I don't know. Like, it's dash mod, right? And then I think I typed your name in. Okay, there we go! Well, now you can... I know! That's part of the reason why I gave Brandon the mod power. Is because it's like, the dude has been watching my stuff since I started. And I was more scuffed than I am now. So it was like, do you want to be a mod? And he was like, sure. So I just gave him a little sword. And then he actually uses it. Which blows my mind, because he does not have to. So yeah, you do not have to do anything, but if you do, then virtual high five to you. What in the name? Oh! I want to be able to have people able to curse in this stream. So, we'll just say algebra as the lowest, but then any subject that is still within undergraduate level courses, I can do. So, I can help with linear algebra, I can help with differential equations, I can help with the intro proof level writing class. Okay, rule number 1, don't ask questions. Wait. What do you mean? I don't see pee-pee poop. Well, I just say, have a seat, ask a question, stay a while, and listen. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Wink. I can't wink. Oh, it's a... It's a reference to a streamer that I really like. It's almost like a gang code word. If you're in the know, you're in the know. So yeah. But yeah, so like, I don't know if I'm gonna call this a gang, or a cult, or... Okay, so... What I'm doing is technically VTubing, or, like, virtual YouTubing, but I only really upload VODs onto YouTube, so I'm more of a V-streamer, quote-unquote. So those are people who use digital avatars and... avatars. I mean, you didn't sign a contract or anything. Yet. But it's like, it's a trend that didn't really take off until like 2016, using a digital avatar to stream. And so a lot of these VTubers will end up calling their following a cult. Just for kicks and giggles. And also because it's true. But, like, I don't want to scare people away because this is just a math tutor channel. But if people want to be called a cult, then sure. That's fine. I guess. But yeah. Okay. Let me get this out. Don't hype me up too much. But yeah. Okay, so for the video game section, it's not going to be Silent Hill 1. Dude! X, I haven't seen you in a long time. How you been? And yes, Enzo semesters are nightmares. You are absolutely right. My hype power. It's okay. I have the high ground. Why am I referencing a movie I despise? I hate that movie so much. Here's a controversial opinion. The prequel trilogy of Star Wars is garbage. It's worse than the Disney sequels. I haven't seen the third sequel because I'm pretty sure it's absolute trash. But the prequel trilogy kind of, like, started the, like, snowball of garbage. Oh well. But yeah, Xphonar, meet Hunted. Hunted, meet Xphonar. Xphonar is a physics student that I, like, vomited a bunch of knowledge to. X. Hunted is a boomer like me, who just knows a lot of stuff. Like, a lot of stuff. And I just threw mod powers on him today, because he asked for it. Okay. There's a character in Adventure Time, the cartoon. It's a cat that knows... It had an exam over the weekend. An exam Monday and 2 today. Then it's time for... Oh! Yes! I know that feeling very, very much. I think I've had a couple exams where you could either do it in 72 hours at 8-hour intervals, or you could do it in, like, 48 hours non-stop. Oh, that was good fun. I think I spent, like, 12 hours just staying on campus overnight, finishing one of those exams. It was good fun. Most of my waking hours this week have been spent undoing or prepping for. Yep! Don't worry, when you get into grad school, it gets worse. You acclimate to it, though. Oh. Okay. I like it. Holy crap. As I said, my pie-in-the-sky moonshot goal for this channel is to turn it into a non-profit. I want to make some sort of organization of multiple people who give quality math help, and maybe even just STEM subject help, for free to people who need it. Like, a group that I always have in mind are, like, the kids that have been locked in internment camps on the U.S. southern border during the Trump administration. You know, these are innocent kids whose only crime is that their parents asked them to come to the United States because they'd be killed by gangs if they stayed in countries like, El Salvador, I think, is one of them. But it's like, they're being held in prison camps. They're just kids. I don't really trust the quality of education they're being given, because I'm pretty sure that they are being given some sort of education while they're there. Well, that's also another thing. Because I'm chronically ill, I can't really hold down a normal job. That's another reason why I wanted to do this, because it's like, if I could get a job where really all it does is just help humanity, and I'm not trying to, like, sell stuff, which makes me feel icky, then I could die happy. But yeah, that's the whole goal of this channel. So I'm just kind of starting it as, like, a proof of concept, like, hey, why not do free tutoring through Twitch? Because, like, you know, even kids in very rural communities in India or Africa who don't have access to, like, higher education. Like, okay, maybe they can get through high school level, but, like, a college education is, like, not accessible to them at all. Learn from here. I don't know. That's just... yeah. Kind of like Khan Academy, except Khan Academy is based off of videos. You don't get the live interaction. Yeah. So it's like, have Khan Academy be kind of like the formal lectures, and then this thing... yeah, exactly. So Khan Academy would be like textbook, you know, or video lectures that you watch, and then to get, like, more individualized explanation, so, like, a supplementary thing would be this stuff. Because Khan Academy is bloody fantastic, and there's so many other YouTube content creators that do the same thing, and I love them. This is like if Kuman was a nonprofit, and reasonably... yeah! Wait, I have no idea what Kuman is, though. But yeah, the goal here is to have it be free to the people asking questions. And if I can get up to 90 followers, then I can actually, like, have subscribers, and I can have, donations, so, like, people could, like, send bits and whatnot. That would be able to make it so that I can actually do this, because, like, this sucks up a lot of data from our internet for my home, and we are not rich. My family doesn't have that much money. And so, like, just uploading videos to YouTube almost sucks up all the data we have per month. But, like, getting donations, stuff like that, would make it so that I can actually keep doing this. And if I get enough donations, I could even support myself off this, and then turn it into a nonprofit, and then guys can get tax write-offs, because they're donating to a charity, yada yada yada. I don't know if they changed it. I never really knew what the requirements were. I didn't even know how the whole system worked. Like, I was sure that people whose streams were as small as mine weren't making any money off of anything. But I didn't know where the cutoff was. Apparently, to be an affiliate, you need 90 followers. And you have to have 5 people talking in your chat at once. I've accomplished the 5 people talking in chat. But I only have 15 followers? Yeah, So it's 90 followers is the... Yeah, not subs, followers. If you have 90 followers, now you are eligible to be called an affiliate. Huh. Unless I read it wrong, it's 90 followers now. Huh. Ah. Maybe they updated the requirements. I'm pretty sure you have to have 90. Yeah. So right now my goal is to get to 20. And then hopefully set a new goal to get more, and then get more. But yeah, like, that's the whole thing. So, like, Hunted? Seriously, like, don't feel like you're stepping on any toes if you're getting ideas of, like, oh, we could do this, and we could do this, and we could do this. This is not necessarily my baby. This is just something that I would like to have happen, and I would just hopefully like to be able to make a living off of it, but it doesn't have to be solely my thing. Matter of fact, I'm not even the one that came up with the idea of being a virtual tutor. Another buddy of mine, through the Neoners Discord, Xphoner knows about the Neoners Discord because he's from there too. Another buddy of mine from the Neoners Discord is actually the guy that really came up with the idea, and he told me how to set up a stream. I just happened to be dumb enough to start before I really know what I was doing. He's still getting things ready, like his microphone and all that stuff. Oh yeah, no. But I mean, like, starting up that Reddit account and stuff like that. Yeah. Like, if this thing ever takes off, then I'm more than happy to only be considered a co-founder. Even if you don't get anything out of it, just like having your name attached. You know. Yeah. But yeah. Okay. So, let me actually say this before I forget again. We're not playing Silent Hill 1 today. And you could probably guess what I'm going to play, but I'm trying to be, like, suspenseful. Ah, crap. Oh. Okay, well, let's hop into the main room so that we don't listen to this song over and over again. I really like it as an intro, but I don't think it works as something you can play for 20 minutes. And we've already been here for 20 minutes. Okay, so, hopping over. Okay, I don't want to listen to this anymore. Let me fix this too, otherwise it's going to drive me insane. What do I want on a billboard? Ooh. Here we go. This is actually from a lot newer game that I really... Oh, I can actually stream this game. I love this game. But I haven't played it in like a year or so. Okay. What the heck do I want on a billboard? I don't know. If you look at my About Me section, I kind of put what I am and what this whole brand thing is. But I don't know. The general gist is... Since I effectively got grandfathered in, but yeah, 90% sure my follower count capped at 69. Yes, there is a Discord! I'm surprised you haven't seen it, actually. So, like, just scroll down. It's on my links side. Uh, yeah. Let me just go to my channel. So yeah, just in the about rectangle just below the screen, it has a link to my Twitter, a link to my YouTube VOD channel, and then a link to my Discord. In the Discord, it specifically has a channel for math questions and a channel for physics questions. But I mean, if I can make this thing blow up and get a lot of tutors collaborating with it, then there could be channels for any kind of subject that we decide we want in there. You know. And the whole reason for the channels for questions is for people in time zones that are not North American based. Because I had a dude who was nice enough to follow, but I haven't seen him since, who was living in Palestine. But unfortunately, he's like 10 hours ahead. So whenever I start, it's like 1 in the morning for him. Yeah. Yeah. You're... Yes. Well, the only problem is, one of the people that I definitely know coming in here for help is in high school. That's why I personally don't swear on stream. Because I know some high school kids that I've actually been giving some free tutoring. And that's why on the Discord, I specifically said keep things like PG-13. So, like, no raunchy stuff. Just, yeah. But one plan that I had was, like, maybe set specific times for, like, all ages, but then set specific times for people of a certain age. Like, if you know what the Renaissance Festival is, or, like, Renaissance fairs, they'll have shows that for, like, kids of all ages, but then they'll have 18-plus shows. I'm thinking maybe doing something like that. But right now, I have so few people watching that I just make sure not to curse. I wouldn't be surprised if it... Yeah. Yeah, I hear ya. It... I can't really empathize with that because I've been kind of in quarantine for like 5 years. I mean, I don't have an immunosuppressed condition at all. Like, I can go outside and not die. It's just that I have such little energy that I'm essentially stuck in my house all day. But like, I can't imagine how stir-crazy you guys who have a little bit more normal lives are. Because apparently we humans are a social animal, and we have to have interaction with others, otherwise we go insane. Weak. Normal as an expected value, yes. Just the statistical average. Not in the, like, moral or, social normal. But yeah. Social, like we need water, and we don't get it. Souls get thirsty. Yeah. It's a funny thing, though. At least if you look at it from an evolutionary biological perspective, we're only like that because we're a social animal. And so, like, if we are not in a group, we have a less chance of surviving, and also less chance of having offspring that will survive. But it doesn't mean that, like, as technology progresses, that we still have to be a social thing. Yeah. What I'm saying is that if AI takes over and eliminates us, I'm not going to be too upset. You know, it's like we replaced Homo neanderthalensis. You know. Yes. Praise the machine god. Ah, but then there's cultural evolution, which is too fast. Oh well, I won't get into. I can talk about this for days and days, and probably because I have like mild Asperger's, so I can just keep going about a subject on and on and on. But I'm going to stop. Hasn't even caught up with the fact that we walk upright. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. there is no topic really. Again, this is like a walk-in tutor center that you would find at a university, which is actually what I worked at for like 8 years. Uh, so very informal. It's just whenever somebody had a question, a tutor would walk over, help them, and then walk away. Go find a tutor Discord and go link in there to see if we can get a quick. I mean, if you want to, dude, go for it. Okay, so let me actually do a little math mini lecture so that I'm not a complete liar on the title of the stream. Okay. So, I want, essentially, to convince everybody that 3 plus 2 is equal to 2 plus 3. Commutativity, which is what this is called, is something that we absolutely take for granted. Also, I just realized my chat overlay is, like, illegible. I gotta move it. I just think evolution didn't account for us being too... Oh! Like, evolution doesn't account for anything. Like, that's the thing that I think a lot of people don't understand. Like, I grew up very religious, but, like, I also grew up with a lot... Like, my parents, while religious, also loved science. And so, you have this kind of idea, like almost a deist idea. Oh, my file downloaded. Ooh. Okay. But there's almost a deism idea that, like, you still needed somebody to set the ingredients together and then turn the oven on, and then the universe was able to run itself. But, like, the model of evolution is about just a ball rolling down a hill. It's not optimized. There is no design going on here. It's just, when you say, quote-unquote, the fittest in survival of the quote-unquote fittest, it's not the best. It's just whatever can outcompete all the other iterations of that organism at that time for the given fitness landscape. It does not have to be the optimum, it's just the best for what is there at the moment. And that also explains why you have evolutionary dead ends. Like animals that get really big, like mega predators, like T-Rex. Uh, really successful animal, uh, but they're not good at surviving big changes in the environment and the climate. So if you have something like a massive meteor impact, which causes like a nuclear winter, and a lot of the big herbivores that the T-Rex was preying upon die out, then all your T-Rexes are going to starve to death. It's why mostly little animals survived. Yeah, they are prey animals, so it's easy to catch them and eat them, but they're able to reproduce enough that you can't really eat them all, and they're usually generalist eaters, so they can eat stuff that will still be around even if most things on Earth die. Oh, did I say an amateur biologist? Okay. Gosh darn it. Like, combine possible minor Asperger's syndrome with ADHD, and I can't stay on track for the life of me. Okay, let me look one thing up, because I realized it slipped my mind. Okay. Peano Axioms. Yeah, I figured as such. Domestic, transitive. Okay. To explain why 3 plus 2 is the same as 2 plus 3, you could say evolution accounts for things, but that's a long explanation where you're mostly just left. Ah. Yeah. Okay. Now shut up! No, you don't have to shut up. I don't... Really, you guys are keeping the chat interesting, so keep going, please. First, we have to do our best to set up the very foundation of mathematics. You think I'm afraid of a gun? I am! But yeah. Okay. And this is something that I'd been, like, reading about since yesterday. Because I had read about it before, but I needed a refresher. You ever noticed how, in the universe, things are made up of smaller, more foundational, and less complex things? So, like, you have the observable universe, but the observable universe is made up of galaxies and filaments of gas and stuff that connect the galaxies together, and then you got megavoids and stuff like that. And then galaxies are themselves made up of big gas clouds, stars, planets that go around those stars, black holes. And then, if you look at a star, it's made up of elements, so like, and molecules and stuff. Actually, the analogy goes better if I say a planet. If you look at a planet is made up of stuff, like mountains. That's a mountain, not the letter A. Trees, oceans, and you could argue life forms on the planet are also a part of the planet. So you have life forms, but life forms are made up of smaller pieces, So we're made up of organs. So this is a liver. That's a very janky liver, but it's a liver. But our liver is made up of tissues that are made up of cells. But then our cells are made up of a more fundamental thing. Biomolecules, so like proteins. But proteins are made up of an even more basic thing, amino acids. But then amino acids are made up of a more basic thing. The atoms themselves. But then atoms are made up of more fundamental things, like electrons, protons, and neutrons. But then things like protons and neutrons are made up of more fundamental things, various kinds of quarks. So, in nature, there seems to be a point of existence, as far as we can tell, that is the most basic, and everything else is built off of that. And as far as we can tell, it's the standard model of particle physics. That is the basis for all of reality, as far as we can tell. You know, so you have stuff on the scale of electrons and photons and blah blah blah, all that stuff. Mathematics is kind of the same thing. In mathematics, you have real numbers, but there are subdivisions of real numbers, and then there are subdivisions of the thing below the subdivisions, and etc., etc. So if you want to go from the bottom of the pyramid of mathematics up, first you have the natural numbers, or the counting numbers. Then you have the integers. So 0, 1, 2, 3, blah blah blah. Then you have the integers, which are defined as differences between natural numbers. So -3 is an integer. It's defined as the difference between 0 and 3, or 10 and 13, etc., etc. So integers are differences between natural numbers. And then you have something on top of that. You have the rational numbers, or the rationals. They have the word ratio in them, so you can see what that means. They're just made up of division problems with integers. So rationals are just integers being divided by each other. So, like -3/2, etc., etc. But then, on top of the rationals are the irrational numbers. But, like, there's, like, different categories. Yeah, there are different categories that are above rationals, because you have numbers that are irrational, like square root of 2, but then you have numbers that are transcendental, like e or pi, which are even more weird than square root of 2. I'll just call these the reals. So a natural number is still a real number, just like an integer is a rational number. But then there are numbers that aren't rational or integers or natural numbers. They're essentially gaps in a category of numbers where it's like, okay, I have a number, the square root of 2, where it's the break between numbers where you square them and they are less than 2, and numbers where you square them and they are bigger than 2. So, the square root of 2 is like 1.4 something something. You have numbers that are less than it, and you have numbers that are bigger than it, but the square root of 2 isn't necessarily a rational number. You can't write it as a fraction. It's not an integer. It's not a natural number. It's a gap between classes of numbers that we have already described. Real numbers are like galaxies, but galaxies are made of a smaller subsection, so rationals, so like stars, or planets, or the living things that are on the planets, but then the living things that are on the planets are made up of cells, so like integers, but then integers are made up of even more fundamental things, natural numbers, so like atoms. Back in the latter half of the 1800s, up until the first half of the 1900s, mathematicians were asking a really big question. Are natural numbers really the foundation of the pyramid of mathematics? Are they like electrons, where there's nothing really that makes up an electron? Like, if you look at quantum field theory, you have something called the electromagnetic field. Excuse me! Ooh. Pardon. If I was famous, I'd be on VTuber Sneezes right now. So, in quantum field theory, you have an electromagnetic, but we'll just say the electric field. So, like, if you took a balloon and rubbed it against your head, so that when you pulled it away from your head, your hair was attracted to it, and then you stuck your balloon in certain places in the sky, and you measured, like, how much of a pull your balloon has in a certain direction because of an electric field that's influencing it. An electron would be like a pulse in your electric field, where the values of the electric field go from like 1, 1 to 2, 3, 5, 3, 2, blah, 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 or whatever. I just made a post on no stupid questions. That's awaiting approval, and also a post in our Thank you. Dude. Thank you. But, like, if you define a particle as, like, an actual little ping-pong ball, and an electron just happens to be a ping-pong ball that's not made up of smaller pieces, or if a particle is just an excitation in a field, it's still not really made up of anything more fundamental than that. So, are the natural numbers foundational? Like, are they fundamental concepts? Or are they like atoms, where if you crack them open, you're like, wait, these are made out of protons and neutrons. And then if you crack a proton open, you're like, wait, that's made out of quarks. Is there something more fundamental that we don't know about? So there were a class of mathematicians who were also philosophers called logicians, who were like, yeah, the basis of all mathematics is logic. And one of the dudes, I don't know if he was specifically a quote-unquote logician, but he helped create a theoretical framework of the foundation of mathematics. His name was Peano. I think he was an Italian mathematician. in like the 1870s or whatever. But he created a list of axioms called the Peano Axioms, which essentially replicated natural numbers, but using concepts that were more basic than numbers, namely sets and functions. We talked about sets before. A set is a list. It's just a grouping of distinct things. So, like, I could say the set of cars that are sitting in your local Walmart parking lot. Now, if you had, like, 3 Ford Tauruses that are all white sitting in your parking lot, you wouldn't list each car individually. You would list a white Ford Taurus once. So it would be a collection of all the different kinds of cars, not necessarily the individual cars themselves. So a set is different than a data set, where, like, you perform a measurement and you could get the same measurement again and again and again. And we've talked about functions before. A function is essentially just a conceptual machine where you feed it something and then it spits something out. But that's literally it. So, and also we did talk about what axioms were. An axiom is just an assertion. It's something that is so basic that you can't really prove it. It's almost self-evidently true. So, like, for the idea of equality, for things to be equal, an axiom for equality is x equals x. Something is equal to itself. That is so basic of a concept that most people will be like, well, duh. And that's kind of the idea behind an axiom. It's a well, duh. Another axiom would be if A equals B, then B equals A. That's another well, duh. That's another axiom. This one right here is called reflexivity, by the way. T. This one right here is called symmetry. Another axiom for equality is if A equals B and B equals C, then A equals C. This is called transitivity. Hunted, you're awesome. Thank you. That's really cool. Yeah, you and me both. But yeah. You're a better marketer than I am, because I haven't even done any of that. Okay. You know, I found quite a few posts of random people asking if there's something like this. Wow. Well? Ta-da! I guess I never really understood... Like, I've talked to people about this concept of a virtual tutor, and people were like, that sounds like a really good idea. Wow. Well? Cross fingers! But yeah, so... For a concept like equality, we have things that are just so basic that you don't really have a proof for them. You just have to assert that this is so. That's what an axiom is. So, Peano came along and he was like, okay, I have axioms that if you put them together, create a conceptual system that behaves an awful lot like the natural numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, etc., etc. Okay. One of the axioms is that there is a set that has something in it. What that something is, we don't know. But it's a set that has something in it. So, for this mystery something, we'll call it... V. So, this thing that's in our set has a name, and we're calling it V. And then for our set, we'll call our set N. So one of the axioms in the Peano axioms is that there is a set that we definitely know is not empty. Another thing about the Peano axioms is that we have a function that can take something from this set N. So if there's something that's in our set N, then this function will output some other thing that's still inside our set N. So if there's an X in here, then S of X will also be in here. Another really important thing is that this function that takes things from the set N and spits out things that are still in the set N doesn't spit out exactly what it took in. So, like, to be more specific with functions, a function is a way of relating things in one set to things in a different set. Here, and we'll give it one more thing, and then one more thing here. And this guy also points to this guy. So, the arrows going from somebody in set A and then going to set B are a function. So, it takes an input, and then it gives you an output. So I apply this step to my simulation theory, because if we are indeed in a sim, then we can't create anything even though that exists outside our sim. Therefore, we can never truly understand the outside world with just the inputs of what's in the sim. Possibly. Okay. So, okay, here we go. Our function S takes things from N and then points directly back at N. So if this is X and S takes something from X and then says, well, you got another thing, this thing must be S of X, and it cannot be X itself. S does not pull a loop-de-loop and point things back to itself. It doesn't do that. S takes something from N and then points it to a different thing in N. It does not do loop-de-loops like that. That's not what S does. S does this, not this. So that's what this statement says. Okay? So a more formal way to say it is that if you have an X and Y that are in your set N, and S of X equals the same thing as S of Y, then you know X and Y are the same thing. Another really important thing yes. Okay, now, another really important thing about the function S is that there is somebody in the set N who has no one as its input in S. So, like, I can't have somebody in N whose output of the S function is this one element in my set. So, again, if X is an element of my set N, then there's somebody that is also in my set N that doesn't have an input into the S function that points to V. So, if I have a bunch of stuff in here, I could have S pointing from one dude to this dude, and pointing from this dude to this dude, but there's nobody that points back to this guy. That would be our V element. Okay. So essentially what we've done is we've said, okay, we have a set that has stuff in it, and we have a function that does stuff to the stuff in this set. We have a thing in our set that can only be an input into our S function, it's never the output. And so this is like the most foundational thing in our set N. if you have the S function eat your base element, then you get a new thing. And then you can have the S function eat that thing, and you get a new element. And then you can have your S function eat that thing, and it points you to another brand new element. V 1 2 3, and so on and so forth, forever and ever and ever. Hopefully you can see now how this list of axioms has created something that behaves like the natural numbers. Because think about it. With the natural numbers, there is a number that is the basis for all of the other counting numbers. 0. Natural numbers have an order in which they go. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, that's the natural numbers. You might say, well, what about -1? Well, -1 is not a natural number, it's an integer. It only exists as a difference between two natural numbers. -1 can only be from 0 minus 1, or 1 minus 2, or 2 minus 3, etc., etc. Okay? For the natural numbers, there is a first natural number, and that first natural number is 0. There is a function in the natural numbers that takes you from a natural number to another natural number. That is the +1 function. So, x plus 1. So, if you take 0 and you plus 1, you get to a new natural number. 1. If you take 1 and you plus 1, you get 2. So, whoop. If you take 2 and you add 1, you get 3. Bloop. So, here's a set. It has a base element where you don't have somebody plus 1 equaling 0. That's never going to happen for the natural numbers. And you have an S function that takes you from one element to the other. And the output is not the same as the input. Well, we'll get to that in a sec. So SV is that one, and then you have another element when you take the S function of it again. SV. That's there. So I need one more. Etc., etc. Our V element behaves like our 0 number. Our S function is like adding by 1. Because it takes you from one element of the set to the quote-unquote next element. And then you have successor elements, which have an identity to them. They have a distinguishable characteristic about them, namely, how many times you use the successor, well, the S function, on your original element. This element right here, how many times did we use the S function on V? Once. S once. To get to this element, how many times did you use S on V? S. Twice. How many times did you have to use the S function on V to get to here? S. Thrice. Or 3 times. This one behaves like the number 1. This one behaves like the number 2. This one behaves like the number 3. But we didn't say anything about numbers or counting or order. Numbers have an inherent order about them. And they have a quantitative quality to them. They have cardinality. Not just an ordinal quality to them. We started with just a set and elements in a set and a function. None of these concepts have inherent cardinality about them or inherent order to them. We just created some very base axioms, and we created a system that behaves like the natural numbers. Our S function is called the successor function. Because, by virtue of how we defined how it works, I don't know why my brain blanked for a sec, but by virtue of how we defined how it works, it takes you from an element to the succeeding element. It doesn't jump you to any random element. It takes you from one element to the element that comes, quote-unquote, after. Now, we can take this even further by giving a definition to the successor function. We haven't really technically said what the successor function does. We just said that it takes an input and it gives an output that's still inside the same set. So it takes inputs from N and then it gives you outputs that are still in N. It doesn't point to a different set. We also said that if S eats an element, if S eats 2 elements from N, and they end up pointing at the same thing, then they must have been eating the same element. And we also said that S, when it eats an element, doesn't spit that same element back. It has to spit out something completely different. And that there is an element that doesn't have a predecessor. our element V that I just said is not the output of S. And so just in saying all of these, we have created order, we have created the idea of quantity, thus the natural numbers. But I didn't really say what S does. Like, what's running inside the machine of S? What's going on under the hood? I haven't defined that. And that's not a part of the Peano axioms. But there was another mathematician, and I think even a physicist, named von Neumann. I think that's how you spell his name. Or von Neumann. I don't remember. And also the E and the U might swap. I don't know. I think he was Dutch. He defined the successor function as this. The successor function will take something from your set n, so it'll take an element. And what it does is it takes the element, and by the way, your elements themselves could be sets. So a set could be a set of sets. So what he said is you could take an element and then perform the union operation, which we have talked about before, with a set that contains that element, and only that element. And that's what the successor function is. So if you start with an element, say a set with nothing in it, and we'll just give it a handy name, we'll say 0, you can use this von Neumann definition of successor function and if we write it in terms of just curly brackets, the union is just creating a brand new set with the contents of the sets that you've joined. I'm guessing BBL means be back later. And yeah, okay. I'll still be here. I plan on being here for till like at least 7. But yeah, take care, man. And seriously, thank you for what you've done so far. Like, yeah, thank you. But yeah. So the union would just list the elements that are in these sets. The first set has nothing in it, so it would first list nothing, and then it would list what is actually in one of the sets. So this thing. So that would be the set that contains 0. How many elements are in this set? 1. So we call this the number 1. And then if we perform the successor function defined by von Neumann on 1, that would be 1 union the set that contains 1. 1 was the set that contains 0, union the set that contains 1. So then you get a new set where it contains 0 and 1. How many elements are in this set? 1, 2. That's our number 2. Successor function on 2, as defined by von Neumann. 2 union the set that contains 2. So we get 0, 1, and 2. How many elements are here? 1, 2, 3, so that's the number 3. So if you take the Peano axioms and you combine them with the definition of the successor function as defined by von Neumann, you end up with your list of natural numbers. And so, something as fundamental, as foundational as the natural numbers, you find are actually made up of even more foundational, fundamental concepts. Sets. And logic. And functions. These are all things that have less complexity and less things going on with them than numbers themselves. So it's like thinking atoms were the most basic building blocks of everything, and then cracking the atom open and then realizing it has pieces inside it. Now, all I've done so far is just say that there are natural numbers and this is what they're made up of. Self-evident statements and a function, blah blah blah. So like rules to a game. Well, the S function, especially the one from von Neumann, isn't the only function that we could have that works on things that happen to be inside N. So like A, and this is like S of A, and then you could have another thing that's S of A, blah blah blah. We can have other functions, and so one of the functions is an operator that we call... Wow, that's the worst addition symbol I have ever written. Called addition. Now, since we're talking about, like, not just... We're trying to define mathematics without referencing mathematics. So, we have to be very careful in how we define what addition is without explaining it with addition. That's called circular logic or circular reasoning, and that's not really helpful. So first we have to come up with some axioms to say exactly what addition is. So one of our first axioms is that if you have somebody in N, so if you have an element in N, then that element plus our special part of N, the dude that has no predecessor. So, like, S of X, like, so if you have an X that's in N, then there's no way that you have a successor that is 0. If you have an element of N, and you add it with 0, nothing happens. This is called the, additive identity. Additive identity. It is an axiom. It's a concept that is so basic that there's not really a proof to it. You just have to assert that it is so, and it's essentially self-evident. And to fully explain addition, there is one more axiom that we have to provide. So it's not something that you can prove, it just is. That's the idea of if you have an element in N and you add it with the successor of another element in N. So if I draw a picture of what looks like is going on, so you have somebody in N, you have somebody else in N, and there just so happens to be a successor of that somebody else in N, and you are going to add these two things together. So this dude right here, that's what A plus S of B would be. This is the same as saying you have a successor of A plus B. So this element is also the same as if you had the successor working on A plus B. So again, what that means is that there's somebody inside your set that is A plus B. So its successor would be the same as if you had A added with the successor of B. That's just an identity. Now, since we have the benefit of hindsight, we already know how natural numbers work, we already know how addition works. Here's a way of getting your head around this axiom that I just wrote down right here for addition. Let's say we had 2 plus 7. Well, if you look at your list of natural numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, blah, blah, blah. Seven is the successor of 6. It's the number that comes right after 6. We already know what the successor function is for addition. It's add 1. So we know that we can write 2 plus 7 as 2 plus 6 plus 1. Because that's what 7 is. It's 6 plus 1. We also know that when we're adding numbers together, it doesn't matter how we group our addition. If I take 2 plus 6 plus 1, and then I decide to add these two back numbers first, 2 plus 7, and then I add these guys, I get 9. But if I do this, so 2 plus 6 plus 1, starting at the same point, and add the first two numbers first, I get 8 plus 1. I still get 9. That's called associativity, and that's just something that we just understand when we're adding natural numbers together. That is something that we have to define when we're trying to describe the foundations, like the electrons and the protons and the neutrons of the whole number atoms. We have to actually write down an axiom that asserts that you can do this. That instead of adding 6 and 1 together first, you can add 2 and 6 together first. Because again, if I write this in terms of the successor function, so I have 2 plus 7, that's the same as saying 2 plus the successor of 6. But this is also the same as saying the successor of 2 plus 6. Because this is saying 2 plus 6 plus 1, like so. This is saying 2 plus 6 plus 1. But they both give us 9. This part right here is what was giving me a lot of trouble yesterday. I was fighting so hard the fact, and I didn't really remember that it is a fact, it's just an axiom, that this statement is just an assertion. It logically makes sense if you think about the natural numbers in hindsight. But yeah, that's where I was stuck. But now that we're just accepting that this is just something that's asserted to be true, just as much so as a plus nothing is a, then we can actually do addition. So with our two axioms of addition, a plus the successor of some other number equals the successor of a plus that number, we can figure out what a plus 1 is. We know that a plus 1 is the same as a plus the successor of 0. Because we know that 1 is the successor of 0. That's just the definition of the successor function. And then, by this identity right here, we know that this is the same as this. And then by this identity, this axiom, we know that this is the same as this. So now we know what the notation a number plus 1 means. It means the successor of A. So we have now defined, well, we have now discovered what adding by 1 is. And this came from just the von Neumann definition of our successor function, where it's just taking a set and performing the union with a set that contains that set. This had nothing to do with addition at all, but by writing out our Peano axioms, which talked about having a set that has an element that our S function doesn't spit out, and that we have an S function that takes you from one element to another, and then from that element to another, etc., etc., we're able to define, well, we are able to discover that plus 1 means the successor. Now we can define what plus 2 is. A plus 2 is the same as A plus the successor of 1. And so, we know that that also means it is A plus 1 with a successor function eating A plus 1. And we know that A plus 1 means the successor of A. So we know that A plus 2 means have the successor function operate on A twice. And so then we can discover what A plus 3 means. It means A plus the successor of 2, which means S of A plus 2, which means it's the successor function of all that stuff. So, the successor of the successor of A. And thus forever and ever and ever. So now we know what addition means, and now we can add by whatever two numbers we want. Now, I introduced a notation that helped us keep track of the number of times we've used a successor function. So, if you look here, we've used the successor function once, twice, 3 times. I just called that S sub 3 of A. So if I have two numbers that are being added together, from the axioms that we have, and then from what we have discovered so far, it just means use the successor function this many times on this starting element. And just make sure that your elements are in that set that's from the Peano axioms. Now we are prepared to ask the question, is A plus B the same thing as B plus A? Because remember, these mean two different things. This guy is saying, okay, you have your set N, you have your foundational member, we called it V, but we also know that it's actually the number 0. And then we have a certain number of successors, blah blah blah, happening. And then we have our starting point A. And then we have some number of successors that happen afterwards. So B's S's. And then we get to some number A plus B. This one is saying, okay, you have your N set, and you have your foundational member, and then you have S being used a certain number of times, we don't say, but it gets us to B, and then we use the S operator, the S function, A times to get us to this number. Are these two numbers the same number of operators the same number of successor functions away from 0? So, one thing that we can do is we can also introduce another notation. The idea of a predecessor. So, what I had said, so S1 of B, S2 of B. The subscripts on the S function are how we define how many successor functions are used on B, and so that's how you know where they are on a number line. Subscripts on the number itself tell us how many successors you need to take to get to this number. So, like, you would need 2 successors to operate on B sub 2 to get you to B. Now, if we already know what subtraction is, this is essentially just my workaround of saying what subtraction is without actually saying this is subtraction. So, B minus 2 is B sub 2. That's what that is. So then, S of 2 of B is saying B plus 2. And so B sub 2 plus 2 is B. You know. But we're trying to do all this stuff without actually explicitly saying addition and subtraction, because we're trying to define what those are. And I haven't even defined what subtraction is yet. Like, we just barely defined what addition is. Okay, so delete that. If we start with A plus B, we could say that this is A plus the successor of B1, which equals the successor of A plus B1. But we could also say this is A plus S2 of B2. And I realize part of my problem, our axiom said that if you have A plus a successor of some other thing where it's a 1, it equals this. That axiom doesn't work when you have more than one successors operating on somebody. Well, poopy buttholes. This just shows that I have a little bit more work to do. Because I wasn't even expecting to realize that I was going to run into this problem. I will come back to this, though. Matter of fact, I'll come back to it on Saturday, since tomorrow is Friday, and I usually take Fridays off. So I'm going to stop the mini-lecture here for today. And we're going to jump into a Silent Hill game. But it's not going to be Silent Hill 1. But first I need to go to the bathroom, so I will return. But yeah, on Saturday, we'll come back to the subject. So stay tuned. Because we'll, hopefully, finally, be able to prove that 3 plus 2 equals 2 plus 3. But yeah, I'll be back. Let me use the bathroom. Oops. So, we're having some technical difficulties. Okay, I'm settled back in. I need to learn how to configure my controller for this piece of software. Flickering in a proper lighting, flickering, spiky polygon, menu items, colored vertical bands appear on screen. That's not helping. PCS62, PS3 controller setup. Connect your PS3 controller with its USB cable and allow your computer to automatically install the basic USB input drivers. Motion and Joy drivers. Run the DS3 tool that was installed. Okay. Click the load button on the DS3 tool, main window, and the new USB drivers will be downloaded. Click the home button on the DS3 tool window, allocate button 2 option, and enable to activate the PS3 controller on the computer as usable. Launch this. Click the config button on the top menu, and then click the configuration button on the context menu. Click the first controller. Stop. Button, and a window will come up with a PS2 controller image on it, with each button on the picture as clickable. Click each button, one at a time, on the picture and press the corresponding button on the... Click OK when you have finished mapping each button to the proper button. You can now start a game and use the blah blah blah. Right. Problem is that I don't know the settings that I should change to PCSX so it works. I enter config, controllers, plugin settings, but then what should I do? Maybe I found a solution. Son of a bum. Relations and memory settings, BIOS. Audio controller. Is there... controller is still not working. Why does this have to all be so freaking difficult? Poopy, poopy, poopy! Buttholes. Just set it to rect input and it worked just fine. Thank you for your help, man. Okay. Set it to direct input then. Okay, so restore defaults. Let's do that first. Restore defaults. Apply. Zaid! Yo! I haven't seen you in a while. How are you? What's new? Okay. So... I'm doing okay. Ow, that's loud. I'm trying to get my PS3 controller to work on my PS2 system, and it just does not want to work. Yeah, like, I'm still available to help you with whatever. Like, you haven't had your finals yet, right? So, what's up? How can I help you? I can imagine. Oh, your question? Can you type it in chat? Or is it like a really long question? Ah, so it is a drawing, okay. Send it to me through the Discord, actually. I have a Discord server specifically for this, actually. If you go to my stream, where it says about Blairg1, I have a link to the Discord. Just hop into the Discord. I have a channel specifically it's a channel called Math Questions. There we are. So you can put in like an image or whatever you need. And the channel looks like this. Control, print screen. Okay. So here's the Discord page. So if you can find that. Oh! Oh, oh, oh! Okay, so is your Discord account name Nyha? Nyhaa? Is that you? Ah! Okay. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, you're already in the server. Okay. So yeah, just so that I can keep things formal, put the question in here. Put question in here. Hello. Don't save. Actually, no, don't close that. Stop. Okay. File. No, don't save. So I'm guessing, how big is it like an image file that you're trying to upload? If so, how big is the image file? Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay, I see what you're talking about. Open the original. Okay, it looks like you got some trigonometry here. Right. Alpha 1, Alpha 2, Alpha 3, and Alpha 4. So you're looking for the length of the side AB. Okay. Now, a couple questions. Is this a trapezoid? So... Okay. Let's see. I think I remember sine rule. Yeah. Okay, so the side AB and the side D are parallel, yeah? Okay. Alright, here, let me, write something up on my whiteboard then. Okay. Cool. Got that up. I just need to get my, draw pad again. Oop. Okay, now, before I start, this is not a question on a quiz or a test, right? Just want to make doubly sure. Perfect. Alright, so yeah, let me go ahead and draw the picture. Shoop. So, have ourselves a trapezoid. Okay. And then we have diagonals for our trapezoid, essentially diagonals. So, from there to there. And then we have another one. I use this color from here to here. Okay. So, A, B, C, and E. Okay. And then this is alpha 1, this is alpha 2, alpha 3, and alpha 4. Okay. And you're looking for the length of AB. Okay. So we have several triangles that we're looking at. We have triangle ACE. We have triangle, yep. Let's see. So we have this triangle, we have triangle CEB. So we have those two, and we also... Those are probably the important ones for us. This distance is known. Okay, and we know the sizes of all those triangles. Okay, so right now we have to remember what the law of sines is. If I remember correctly, it goes something like this. So if I have just some triangle, alpha, beta, gamma, C, A, B, sine of alpha over A equals sine of beta over B, and that equals sine of gamma over C. So that's the law of sines. Okay, so this is just an identity that we'll use. Okay. This value here is our goal. The only side that we know the length of is this one right here. We know that this is length D. So, I'll say that this length is L. Okay. What triangles have side D? Okay, so both of these triangles have side D. Huh. Since we know how big this angle is, and we know how big this angle is, we can compute this angle, because it's just pi minus all those alphas. So this angle is just pi minus alpha 1 minus alpha 2 minus alpha 3. This angle is the same idea. It's pi minus alpha 3 minus alpha 4. Oh, and minus alpha 2, because alpha 2 is also in this triangle. So, 2 minus alpha 3 minus alpha 4. So we know the angles of all these triangles. So now we could... Yep. We can figure out the length of this side of the trapezoid, or this side of the trapezoid. So... let's see, what would be a nice one to do? Okay. This angle right here, I'm going to call... so, its value is this, but I don't want to have to write all those symbols, so I'm just going to call it beta. This angle over here, I don't want to have to write all of this, so I'm just going to call its value gamma. Using the law of sines, let's see here, we could say the sine of gamma over d, so the sine of this angle divided by this side equals what's the side that we want? We want this one. That equals the sine of alpha over 2 divided by this leg that we don't know the distance of. So I'll call that distance m. We can now solve for this triangle's missing leg. So the algebra, when you just move things around, becomes the sine of alpha 2 over the sine of what we called gamma times d. So now we know how long this leg is. It would be the same idea here. We could say the length of this side is n. So then we could say for this, the sine of beta over d equals the sine of alpha 3 over n. And thus find that n equals d times the sine of alpha 3 over the sine of beta. So now we know how long this leg is, and we know how long this leg is. Now we can use triangles like this big triangle right here, or this big triangle right here. You just have to make one more law of sines, and then you're good to go. So I won't say any more than this, because I don't want to do the problem all the way for you. So what you can do is hit Control Print Screen, so you can have all of the information that we have up here, and then write out all that you can on your paper, and then post an image of what you have on your paper back in the math questions chat. And then I can look and see how you've done, and then say whether or not you got it right. Does that sound like a plan? Awesome. Okay. Okay, so what's the other question? Well, the law of sines, if you look at the triangle diagram that I've drawn over here, it's your angle, the sine of your angle, divided by the opposite side. Okay? So if you're talking about alpha 1 plus alpha 2, well, what's the side that's opposite of alpha 1, alpha 2? Not AC. That's not the opposite side. BC is the opposite side. Yeah. So that's the important thing. With the law of sines, it's the sine of the angle divided by the opposite side of that angle. Okay. So, go ahead, take what we talked about here, do as much as you can. Don't take longer than 10 minutes, though. Okay? So, let's see. It will be 6 p.m. for me, so I think that's going to be 4 a.m. for you. So, if you still haven't figured it out by 4 a.m., come back, show me a picture of what you have, and we'll go from there. Okay? So don't take more than 10 minutes. And I plan on here for being at least 1 more hour. So, you got time. I'll be here. Oh, shnikes, yeah. Okay. When does this problem due? When do you have to turn this in? Okay. That works. I'm not streaming tomorrow. Well, so it's already Friday for you, but it's not Friday yet for me. So I'm not going to be streaming on Friday, but I will talk to you through Discord. So yeah, just do as much as you can, and then talk to me on Discord, and then I'll help you from there. Alright, man. It's good to see you! I was hoping you were okay. So yeah, awesome stuff. So yeah, by the power of coffee, go forth and solve this surveying problem. Same to you, my student. And now back to trying to figure out what the heck I need to do. See ya, man. Now I have to go back to finding out how to get a PS3 controller to work with this one software program, because it's not doing it. And I am sad. working. Okay, so LilyPad is a Windows gamepad plugin for the PCSX2's emulator. It is written by the plugin author Chicken Liver, who keeps the official thread updated with the most recent version of the plugin. As of December 2010, the current version is keyboards, mice, direct input, explicit direct, DualShock 3 connections are all supported. It supports multiple devices of all types, and devices of different types can be mixed and matched. Sensitivity can be adjusted, blah blah blah. The input API sets the Microsoft Input API LilyPad uses to read input. Mice and keyboards both have 4 input modes. The modes are Windows Messaging, Raw, Direct Input, and Disabled. Windows Messaging is the recommended mode for keyboards and mice. Raw mode distinguishes between multiple keyboard, mice under XP Vista, but does not support horizontal mouse wheels. Yada yada. Other devices, game devices, certain extended keyboard, keys, etc., are only available through direct input, except Xbox controllers, which can work through X input as well. DualShock 3 controllers are now supported through direct connections, allowing LilyPad to directly access all pressure-sensitive information. To configure bindings, you first need to set which APIs to use for keyboard, mice, other devices. Then just go to the tab for the appropriate pad. If you switch input APIs after binding controls, the bindings for the old input mode will be hidden, but will reappear if you switch back. Direct input devices have a prefix of DX. Raw devices are prefixed by RAW, and Windows Message devices are prefixed by WM. Press the button corresponding to the button axis you want to bind, and then press the button jiggle the axis you want to bind to. Where are tech people when I need them? Wait a minute. EA! EA, are you here? I see your name in chat, but if you're, like, actually here? Okay. I have, like, a super important tech question that's driving me insane. And I have no idea what to do. Let's see if he sees that. Hopefully. Cross fingers. Because, like, I was able to get my PS3 controller to work for the PlayStation 1, but it's not working for the PlayStation 2. And I am not quite sure why. And it's driving me insane. Just absolutely bonkers. I'm going mad. That's interesting. Hmm. Why is it refusing to work? 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 Huh. Discord C loads. Hamaji. Asus. Drive. Logitech. Freak. Ing heck. Freaking heck. Man! Well, poop. Okay, well, it looks like I'm gonna have to, like, really dig deep to try to figure out why the heck my PS3 controller isn't being even recognized. So, in the meantime... I'm not gonna leave you guys with nothing. So, we're gonna put trying to play a Silent Hill game on the back burner for now. And we're going to do something else. So here's what we're gonna do. Baby. Okay. So changing that to boom. Done. Okay. I got that. Okay, welcome to the void. Sorry about that. Man, it looked like I had everything ready to go. And then at the last moment, the program was like, ha! You thought you had your controller configured, but you didn't, because you suck. But that's okay. We shall carry on. So I have a substitute game that I always have waiting in the wings that I absolutely adore. And since a lot of you guys out there are old, or at least old at heart, me playing this game won't be like an immediate turn-off. So, okay, game capture, properties. I would like you to capture this. Hopefully it'll work. Nope. Wait, no. I gotta... Life is pain. Oh, there it is! Hey! Alright. And it even has animation, too. Nice. Okay. Snap that there. Good. Now, we don't hear a doggone thing, so... Yep, okay. Now you guys should be able to hear something. So that's good. Cool. So I had started with the guy named Grass Taster. And so we're going to keep going with him. So, game name... Let's go. Just one. Because that's my global region. Oh, and I can make the window big. Okay, so I made the window big. Okay. Did that screw up this? Yes, it did. Bloop bloop, make smaller. Make smaller until it actually fits the window. Okay, almost. Almost. Hey! Got it to work. Okay. Now the volume is... Oh, I never turned the volume down. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Okay. I am so sorry. No, I'm not. I'm not sorry for being scuffed. Scuffed is my nature. It is my very being. It is what fuels me. Okay. Let's actually give us some sound and music. Oh. Okay. So, my lovely little paladin here, I've already played him up to Act 2. But I mean, this game is ancient, so, if you don't know what happens already, then shame on you. Alright. Now, what do I have in my inventory? A lot of stuff. This is what happens when you have a character that's already, very high level. You have a lot of hand-me-downs to throw. What level is my mercenary? He's only level 13. Okay.
It is an honor to serve you.
It's an honor to be served. Thank you. Armor. Let's see. This shield, 2 to 4 damage. This one, 2 to 5. I don't really need to replace that. Okay. My equipment is going to be good until I'm at least, like, level 20. My mercenaries, however, is garbage. That's because he's only level 13. Okay. What quests? Drognet about the strange darkness. Did I get the Horadric staff? I want to say yes, I did. Yeah, because it's right there. Perfect. Okay, so I just have to go to the spider... not spider.
I've heard that you are responsible for banishing Andariel back to the burning hells.
Oh, this voice acting is so good.
Stranger. That couldn't have been easy.
My name is Drogden.
I know
And I know what you're up against, my friend.
You ought to look over my inventory of items for trade. I've been researching this lengthy eclipse, and I believe it to be the work of claw vipers.
Oh, those
Find their
buggers.
temple beneath the desert sands, and you may find the source of this curse. Ask and learn.
That's a good idea. Go find the claw vipers. Oh, these shields do a lot more damage. And that has a lot of defense. What about here? Oh, only 3 to 6? No. There we go. I don't even care that this gives me more resist. The kind of paladin I'm using right here is a paladin I had never used before until Season 1 of Project Diablo 2, which was just a few months ago. So, like, in the 20 years that this game has existed, I have never used this build. It's called the Smiterdin. You have an ability called Smite, where all you do is you punch things with your shield. Not even your weapon. Your shield is your weapon. And only paladins have a damage rating from their shields. So you see how in this image, where it has all the item stats, you see that it says Smite damage, 5 to 9? Yeah. It's because you're the only class that can hit things with your shield. And it turns out it's one of the most broken classes in the game, because even though Smite doesn't do that much damage, it triggers a damage system called Crush, which is a percentile damage. So Crushing Blow, I think, does like 1/10 of an enemy's current hit points. So you could take a monster that has 1,000,000 hit points and just punch it like 10 times, and you've done more damage than you could do with a lot of other builds. And it stuns when you hit. And on top of stunning, it knocks back. So you could knock somebody into a wall and just keep punching them with your shield, taking off percentages of their health if you have Crushing Blow equipment, and you become an unstoppable boss-killing machine. It's broken. And so I liked building a Smiterdin for the previous season of Project Diablo 2. And in this season, I don't think they, like, really nerfed it at all. I don't think it's as stupidly broken, but it's still good. And so we're gonna do it. And another thing about Diablo 2 is that it's not like Path of Exile, where, like, even if there's a godly build out there, and you are able to get the items that you need, you still might not be able to pull it off. I haven't had that experience with Diablo 2, so yeah. Okay, now taking a look at weapons, I'm looking for things that would make my smite damage go up. So, life steal, no. Blessed aim, yeah. Charge, holy fire. Charge and prayer. Blessed aim and defiance. Nah, okay. So, now, oh no, did I ever go back to Atma and be like, hey, can I get my...
That the taste of vengeance is bittersweet, but I find it to my liking. In addition to my undying gratitude, I have spoken on your behalf with the rest of the townspeople. The merchants have agreed to show their gratitude by offering their wares and services at lower rates. Oh, Jaren wants to see you too. You'll find him in front of the palace.
I was supposed to talk to her at the beginning of this act. I'm already more than halfway done with this act. So I just wasted a lot of money. Put me in the ground. I'm done. Alright. Now, for right now, since it's still really early game, I don't really hit things with my shield just yet. Because my sword is more than capable of demolishing everything. Yes. This is the joy of playing your second character. Because your League starter character is able to be your sugar daddy or sugar mama. And just give you a bunch of stuff. Which is fantastic. Oh, and again, still a free math tutor. I'm still open for questions. So if anybody pops in and is like, hey, could you help? I will be more than happy to. This is a game where you can pause. So, yeah, just ask a question. I will do my best to help you. That's not the inventory button. This is. Oh. That's a much better pair of gloves than what he's wearing.
Put that to good use.
Yeah, I know you will. Okay. Full healing. Sure. Let's replace. There we are. Boo-doo-dum. 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 It's not easy being green. Okay. Well. Wow! My, smite skill is almost completely maxed. I like that. Okay. Yes, it's kind of stupid to put everything in strength at the very beginning, but I'm not a smart person. I can just help explain things once I finally understand them. So, yeah. Ugh. It's as easy as chopping down trees. Okay. It's garbage. What about here? A little bit of lightning resist, a little bit of fire resist. Not terrible. It might be good enough to sell. Ah, here we are. Wait, oh, nope. That was to the previous area. I don't want that. I want to go over to here. Oh, it's so nice playing this game, because I'm not, like, terrified. Because, like, Silent Hill 1, yeah, it looks silly. It's really polygonal and whatnot, you know, PS1 era graphics. But I tell you, when, like, a demon sloth turtle, like, makes a loud bang as it drops down and it starts running at you, going clickety-clackety, you know, that's actually scary. Ooh. So scepters are a paladin weapon. Just base damage-wise, not as good as the item I already have. And it adds to an aura that doesn't really help. Okay.
Light guide my way in such a cursed place.
So those are claw vipers. So they're like mermaids, except their butts are snakes. And their heads are also snakes. But their torsos are kind of human. See, this is the thing about Diablo 2 that I really liked. I love Dungeons & Dragons and I love fantasy settings. But one reason why I love Diablo 2 is, and Diablo 1 is that... Wait, is this some... No. Hold on, I gotta... Are you excited for Diablo 2 Resurrected? No, not at all. Absolutely not. 100% no. It's gonna... Oh, I'm such a bad liar. I will probably just drop everything when it finally releases and only play that. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked. But yeah, what's up? Okay, for the VOD, this is my Dungeon Master. I'll preserve his anonymity by not saying his actual name. But yeah, yo, how's it going? So this is what I do with my time off of work. Well, hi! Jaws Theme. I'll say his Discord name. Jaws Theme was in here about like a week ago or so. Which surprised me. I'm just... The one person who hasn't bothered to come in is, crap, I don't want to say his name. Well, my own brother. Like, I see him hopping in on, Steam. Yes, that's the name of that program. So I see him hopping in on Steam. Never once have I seen him, like, even lurk. My own brother. Tisk tisk. It's fine though. I'll just give him a hard time when we next play D&D. Oh, I could guilt trip him about letting his good buddy, the fairy dragon, die, and have its corpse just laying out on the street. You know, like, hey, you remember that one cool dude that turned you into a T-Rex? We're all dropping everything when... Oh yeah, I completely forgot all you guys. It's so funny that you guys love a game that's almost as old as you are. And have played it maybe even more than I have. It's ridiculous. But yeah, today I was hoping to play Silent Hill 2, but I don't have a PS2 anymore. I don't have a game capture card either. And I couldn't get the emulator to work. And so it was like, okay. Yeah, it does a little bit. So it's like, when people aren't asking questions, what the heck am I gonna do? So I was like, oh, I could do this. So that's why I'm, you know, playing a game as old as this. Even though I played the I played the first Silent Hill like 5 times over on stream. And that game came out before Diablo 2. Which is insane to think about, that Silent Hill 1 is older than Diablo 2. It makes my mind explode. This is true. That's why Bug Snacks will be around forever.
The light can never be extinguished by evil.
I mean, it can, but... Oh, poor naive little paladin.
The Viper Amulet. I've been... Good
Wow.
day.
But yeah, how's life for you? How was work? How are those, semiconductors treating you? I literally have no idea. Repair. Oh, good! Very good. Converted? Like, arrays? Like, what's, Oh no, you got converted to the Cult of Orcus, huh? Oh! Okay, that's awesome. That's fantastic.
Excellent.
Does it come with... That, yeah, that's really... Stop being more grown-up than me, okay? It's not okay. Like, my own brother is almost getting married. You guys are having, like, actual careers. And here I am, sitting and playing a video game online. Oh, so that's still on, too. When do you plan on doing that? Also, I just realized I'm just walking in circles. Yeah! Okay. Do we have anything good? No. Yeah, like, aren't we in... We're kind of in another bubble, aren't we? From what I understand. I don't... No. No. Yeah. Which is scary, because the bubble popping in 2008 was atrocious. So... Hope that doesn't happen. That sounds bad. Ew. So are you planning on waiting till the bubble pops? Well, that's probably the smartest way to go. Wait till everyone else loses everything. Yeah.
I'll put that to use.
At least, since we've had a quote-unquote recent major housing bubble collapse, like, you can see it coming and then kind of avoid the worst of it. Because, like, before 2008, I think the last major, like, market collapse of that magnitude was the Great Depression, and that was in the 1929. So, 80 years. It wasn't even 100 years. Wow. Oh! Oh, dang. Ow. Excuse me. California is what's helping the bubble stay afloat. Oh. Gotcha. Hey, EA, how's it going? They are coming here and buying straight out with oh. Buying houses in cash. I don't understand why anyone would choose to live in a desert. I don't care that, like, land is cheaper here. It's still a desert. Although most of California is a desert as well. Now, okay, EA, when you say thinking of playing the game, is it like playing it for streaming or like just playing in general? I imagine you've already played the game before. Or these commands. Oh no, my number of commands aren't working. No! No! Hold on. Options. Configure controls. Oh, my numlock is not on. There we go.
Bye.
Ha!
Goodbye. Goodbye. Bye. Goodbye. Bye. This is for you. This is yours. This is for you. This is yours. This is for you. This is yours. This is for you. This is yours.
Ah. Yeah, well, you may even want to wait until the remaster of Diablo 2 comes out, because that's going to be this year. But yeah, I adore this game. It's probably my absolute favorite. Because, like, I still play it... I think, like, every couple years I boot it back up. No. No, Quest. No. It is coming out this year. Do not jinx it. Yeah, I saw a Riker video. Riker is like a big Diablo game reporter, saying that it's possible that they're already ready to do beta. But yeah, never... You say one more thing about Diablo not coming out this year, and I will cry. I was gonna say I will ban you, but it's like, no. But I will cry. On stream. And it'll be an ugly cry, too. I don't think you want that. Money, well, remember tipping is... not a city in China. Yeah, no. Jeez. Like, if you're gonna buy Diablo 2 just by itself, it's probably still like $20, isn't it? That's silly. And I also just realized I was walking in circles around the village again.
When troubles began here, I allowed the terrified harem guilds to join me within the safety of the palace.
Oh, so nice of you.
All was fine until one night. Screams echoed up the stairwells from the harem.
Oh, you
My
do?
guards arrived to find the poor girls
Play it!
by a merciless band of hell-spawned demons. My brave guardsmen tried to push the demons back into the mysterious rift from which they came. Ever since, my men have fought a losing battle. Demons have continued to pour through the rift into the palace. Ultimately, I hired Grays and his mercenaries to help protect the rest of my fair city. Drognin believes that the arcane sanctuary lies buried underneath this palace, since Lutgalain occupies the site of an ancient Vigerai fortress. My palace is open to you now. Take care. I have heard of your many deeds of skill and bravery. I feel I can trust you with something I have been hesitant to speak of. Drognin and I have concluded that the Dark Wanderer will pass through here.
As long as you have a legit CD key,
Diablo is searching the
then you're good.
Secret tomb where the great Horadric mage Tal Rasha keeps Baal imprisoned. You must find Diablo and put an end to the terrible evil that has fallen upon our city. Drognin is wise and is sure to have some helpful advice for you as to how Telrash's tomb may be found. It may take you quite some time to find the tomb. May you be ready when you do.
Okay.
Thank you.
Alright. So, time to go down into the palace. Everything looks pretty normal, just empty. We're gonna go down one set of stairs. And it's already looking like it went to hell. 'Cause it did! Okay, where are we? Oh. I'll still spend $40. They can take my money, I don't care. If that price makes it so that they don't have to monetize the crap out of it, then I'm okay with that. Ow. Stop. Stop. That's enough. Okay. I don't have to go to here, but they're annoying. Stop. Ew, arrows. Okay. Hey! Hey! To kill or not to kill? That is the question. Whether tis faster. Yeah, like, Diablo clones are all over the place. Champions of Norath. Okay, I have not heard of that one. But like, Titan's Quest. That was made by, people that made, D2. You also have... crap. Torchlight. What else? Gauntlet. Yeah, Gauntlet, that was an arcade game too, wasn't that? Also, Quest, what do you mean 1 in 4? Good luck. What's 1 in 4? Whenever you say probability stuff, it makes me worry because... you know, it's like rolling a dice. Oh, yeah! Yeah, no, I hate it. Ow. Stop. Leave me alone. Also, I think I walked farther than I needed to. Okay, that's garbage. 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 Go. This way. Without fail, I almost never find the Arcane Sanctuary until I go down the 4th branch. And then it's like, oh, there it is.
Product of a twisted mind.
Okay. Where are you, Kane?
Greetings.
Oh, I have nothing to identify.
Good day.
Okay. Go away, go away. Though Arcana D2R is... I can't wait. best bet, I guess, now... Okay, so EA, you're ancient like I am. So, you remember the time when you could go to a used game store and actually get, like, physical copies of games for, like, less than $10. So you didn't have to spend $20 to get something that's, like, 15 years old. But sadly, those games are gone. I mean, those times are gone. Really? Good... I guess looking at Goodwill works, too. Huh. Wow. That's not a bad deal. Like, that's really not a bad deal. Like, does it run, or is it, like, scratched to hell? Death. Ooh. Ow. Okay, why am I not picking it up? Okay. There we go. He should just die from poison. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Ooh, I need that. Oh! EA! I have a gigantic favor for you. To ask of you. I'm trying to get PCX2 to work. And I'm able to boot it up. I got the right BIOS file, and I was able to get a copy of a disk that works. But my controller, for some reason, is not being recognized by the software, even though EPCX3, or whatever, so the PS1 emulator, works with my controller just fine. So, like, if you could point me to a guide on how to set up a PS3 controller with PCSX2. No, I can't. But the software can see that I have a PS3 controller plugged in, and I'm using the software X input and motion enjoy, but for some reason it just won't work. It just refuses. And I have no idea why. Death. Anything good there? Nope. 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 What is this? Faster hit. The controller is essentially just a PS3 controller. Like, it's not made by Sony itself. It's made by Voyee? Voyee? But, like, the computer just recognizes it as a DualShock PS3 controller. So, I don't think, like, the hardware itself is a problem. It just doesn't recognize what I'm using. But it works for the PS1 emulator. So, I don't know why it's having problems with the PS2 emulator. It doesn't make sense. What are you? Eh. I compare things with PS3 controllers and Xbox controller. Yeah, like that's what using X input does, I think. I don't know. I'll send you screenshots of what's going on. It's very bizarre, and if you could help me figure out, that would be awesome. Because then I could actually play Silent Hill games beyond Silent Hill 1. Excuse me. And not bore everyone else to tears. Oh, the latest version I could find? I think? Whoops. Nice. Well, welcome to the fold, Mr. Quest. That's why I designed it that way. Heavy weapons guy approves, and you get to slap me. I have, like, other notifications that are just as fun. Like here, let me... So, that's the follow. When I reach affiliate, if I do, because I need 90 followers for that, but if I do reach affiliate, then I can have people subscribe. This is my subscription notification. I have it ready for when I can do that. Yeah. So that's my subscription notification. And then you have to be affiliate to get donations, but when I get that set up, this is the donation notification.
And his name is John C.
This is a test donation for $7.00.
Yes, that was Dawn of War. That was the first Dawn of War. Because there's nothing cooler than a dreadnought walking up and then just blasting orcs. I love it. So that's a donation notification. And then for my bits notification, whenever I qualify for those, this is for one of my mods. Yeah. He's a giant fan of Initial D, so I did this. But yeah, thank you for the follow. Now I just need to bully my brother to follow. He does not need to do that. Oh, bless. No, a dreadnought walking up and power clawing a Tau is better. Because not only are they humiliated by the fact that their long range didn't down the dreadnought, now they have to deal with being pathetic in short range. Exactly. Yeah. Good times. Oh, I also actually have a form of channel points, too. I might have to put, like, a tutorial of how to use it somewhere, but essentially, if you hover your cursor over the screen, you'll see your... I think you'll see an icon of yourself, or maybe of me, and you click on it, In order to take advantage of this extension, you first need to grant us access to who you are. What? I already did. Oh no, it must be busted. Wait, I did... Allow this extension to know your user ID. Manage permissions. Crap. Did I break it? Other connections, Razor, D&D Beyond. Steam. I guess you figured it out. Oh no. I forgot I made that. Okay, just for you. Just for you. Oh, matter of fact, I have a voice changer. Well, you know I have a voice changer. Because I use it for D&D. Let me... Shut up, Diablo. Shut up. I have work to do. Where is it? It's right here. Okay. Let me put this up. Okay. So I got this. What was a really good one? This was a really good one. Okay. I just need to do this to make sure I can hear myself.
Okay. Wait. Wait. Can... Oh, you can't hear it, can you? Or can you? No, you probably can't. Oh, you can! Perfect.
Okay, there we go. Solid set of it. Yeah. Yeah. I need more practice. But yeah, you found one of my redeems. Oh. Matter of fact, let me go to my dashboard. In here, I'm gonna change it. Oh, I bet you're being modest. Okay. In here, where are you? You are... I don't think that it's... I mean, I could just go... Let's see, start quest. There you are. Edit. Okay. I'm only doing this because I trust you. I think I've adjusted how many pencils you have. Well, we'll see. We'll see. this one I gotta turn off. Yeah, there we go. It'll take maybe a minute to recognize that I made a change. It's not immediate. Wait, hold on. Mark all as red. Okay. When you find something, do your worst. I dare you. Wait, oh, there's my cursor. How many minutes do I have left in this one? Always do your worst. Yeah. Although, with my Warlock patron, yeah. I mean, I'm kind of scared of them, but not really. I just hope that I never piss them off. Same. I think an important item dropped. I should probably check. Ooh, flood. Oh. Oh, okay. Thank you, EA. I will definitely look at that. When I end stream, I think I'm gonna need to take a nap, because I am dying. But I want to see if I can find, where I need to go next before I have to leave. Okay, come on. I do as well. Okay. No, this is probably just ethereal. Oh, no. Get buff. Hit things good. Yes. And... okay, good. Oh. Okay, good. We're fine. We're fine. And here? Oops. How nice would it be if I actually found the correct, door? The correct pathway. That'd be nice. It's not, though. Okay, why am I not hitting? Thank you. Punch him to death. Oh. Okay, so... that looks fine. Nothing else really looks any good. Oh, lifesteal. 127. I don't really need him for damage. I need him
to good use.
For distraction. full clear, and all of the... Yeah, exactly. And usually, like... I feel like 100% of the time, I always... find the right arm last. Like, without fail.
It is an honor to serve you.
Trade. Good. What about this? I don't need it. Don't really need that either. No. I don't think the boots my mercenary is wearing are very good, so that might actually be nice. Same with that. Yes! Yes, I am definitely using SCP Toolkit. Hopefully that's not a bad thing. 26. Perfect. And yet it's not, and I have no idea why.
I'll put that to good use.
Oh no. I don't know if you guys can see that, but my mercenary's lightning defense is now legendary. It definitely is, but, I mean, I'll check stuff and see. Okay, got that. Ending in 6 minutes. Okay. Let's see if I can find the arm before this game closes. We're gonna go this way. Morningstar Large Shield there. Nothing useful. Death. Nope. Please die. Perfect. Oh, I forgot to do the word filter. Oops. That is a mistake on my part. Big follows. That's the word I need to filter. Okay, now please be it. Please be it. Please be the right arm. Oh? Ah, it's the right arm! I found it! Ow. Ow. Here. Eat poop. Come here. Ha!
Rest in peace.
Seekers.
Not even close. Balanced ass. No, you're not. Yes, you are. Okay, fine. There. And... waypoint. I did it. And before the,
You
must move quick. I hope. Good evening.
Got the banded. I will. Let's see. Is this any good? No. 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 Yes. No. Don't need, don't need. Don't need. Oh. I. And...
I'll put that to good use.
Yes, you will. Okay. And now... he can use this weapon.
I'll put that to good use.
Yes, you will. Matter of fact, I didn't even look at the damage change.
I'll put that to good use.
Modest increase. Nice.
There's nothing the right potion can't cure.
Are there any other items? Nope. Cool. Alright, well I gotta get out of that. And that's that. Yep. That's actually a really good reminder. My mouth is actually quite parched, so thank you. Ah. Okay, much better. I think I'm actually gonna call it here, cause I am about to pass out. Whoosh. Okay. So, thank you everybody for dropping by, and asking questions. I know! Even though my Stinger transition is ugly as sin. Like, seriously, look at that. That's gross. I won't, I promise. I'll pass out when I get into my bed, though. So... I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, okay. Thank you everybody for coming. I'll show... There's this one dude on YouTube that I follow who is a fantastic source of guides for how to make your stream better when you have no money. So I'll link some videos in the Discord, because he's really good. Like, he's how I learned how to make a border like this, even though the border is for my paint window and not for this window capture. Oh yeah, I'll definitely do that too. But yeah, thank you everybody for dropping by. Thank you for the follow, Galaxy Quest, Galaxy Star Quest. Galaxy Quest is a movie. And also Zaid, thank you for the question, and just talk to me in the Discord. Hopefully by Saturday, I will have my PS2 emulator up and ready to go. And then we'll have some real fun. But yeah, I'm gonna take tomorrow off, so everybody have a wonderful time. Don't party too hard. And I will see you guys all later. Adios.